We've got Monti T20, the head coach of Nepal, ahead of Bangladesh and Nepal's clash here at the RSL St. Vincent ground. Coach, to start off with, of course, we'll come to Bangladesh and Nepal later. But yesterday, so close to writing one of the most glorious chapters in the tournament's history.
Still soaking it in. I think it's very interesting, you know, when you don't cross the line, it's always seen as a team which has not been successful. But with the associate team like Nepal, who has never played against South Africa, and if I had to only speak like a fan from outside, I know that they are capable more than that. But just as a fan who loves the game, I would say Nepal definitely have left their footprints with that game, and to let the Test nations know, the world cricket know that they belong. You know, and I have a strong belief in this class of 2023, the players who have come together. I know the numbers don't match the professional numbers of batters of Test teams or well-established teams, but I strongly believe that, you know, when you talk about something never changed, this will go down as something will change forever for Nepal.
It was early morning there in Nepal, and we have seen pictures, some absolutely amazing pictures once again coming with the kind of support that your fans provide you. They were all glued to the screen. So the support, the passion that we have seen not only at the stadiums but back home. Any thoughts on that?
I think the biggest success story of Nepal cricket is about these innocent fans. You know, and I say innocent because I'm only looking it through my lenses. I know when I walk across on the TU ground and I see so many of those Nepali fans on the banks, they must be having daily jobs, daily wages to live their life, and they leave that and come to watch the game and support these young dreams. They have stand with the umbrellas on under the rain in the past. When we qualified, they were standing on the roof, they were climbing the trees, and there are so many layers of definition of fans as 12th men for Nepal cricket. So the emotions, I'm sure, will be very hard right now for them to soak in. It will be, cricket is cruel sometimes, you know, that if again I say South Africa had already qualified, we just needed to cross the line and stay alive in this tournament. But as formidable the side is, South Africa obviously tested us with their mental strength yesterday. But to the fans, I would urge that this is 16 months old story, and I keep saying that because 20th of Jan is when I personally came in, and I do not like to use the word I, but I'm just using it as an example of what I see through my lenses. I'll urge the fans back home, keep supporting these young dreams. With the limited resources, don't using an excuse, I think we have strided forward. The more we get exposure against these Test nations, again another opportunity tomorrow, we'll go to that against Bangladesh tomorrow, and I think we'll be up for it. I know all it requires now in those one-ball battles is courage, and that is something which we are instilling and molding in these young dreams.
Hi Monty, I'm seeing you right now also still emotional at the moment, and it's still yet to sink in the team. How's the mood back in the team, because it was not just to the fans, it was very, very close game, and we don't have much time to come back because we have a match tomorrow.
Yeah, so that is a very important point. You know, we talk about mental strength. This is exactly where the mental strength will be tested for a young associate team like Nepal. 24 hours from now, we'll be planning, discussing, and heading towards the stadium tomorrow to play against Bangladesh. So it is very important to remember the processes that has helped us so far. When we have crossed the line, there are certain plans and preps which we did, and the roles which people dived into helped us to cross the line. At the moment, that is most important thing, so we have to control our emotions. You said it right, I'm also trying to soak in and manage my emotions, but that's where we self-regulate ourselves. Through my experiences, my observations, I will have a story and a narrative to say, same way for all of you. Combined together also is incomplete, but the facts are different. Every one-ball story is different. So if we can rationalize and come back strong and fight through in those phases, yes, with the bat we have not really did much in this tournament, but I think again we rationalize, most of the games have been challenging with the bat so far. These conditions we felt very different the day before when we practiced under lights, but I did feel yesterday there was, it was dry and the challenge was there. Having said that, we fought through the phases with what we know potentially well, but we have a lot more potential. So mixing up all the things together, I think even I have a lot of emotions right now, but we'll stay in present. That's what's the most important thing.
Hi Monty. Nepal is playing last match of the tournament against Bangladesh tomorrow. So will be any changes in our squad?
Uh, when we come to this level, the platform, we think through where we think about, okay, if it's now not going to make any difference to our qualification, can we have a reasonable change where we expose other players as well who are potentially good. But what we'll have to also do our homework is Bangladesh as a team, their combination, and what skills we can bring in through that new member who walks into the playing 11. So contest well. So it will not be just to give opportunity, but it will be again with the mentality to bring the best 11 in for that particular day and win the game.
Hi sir, what is your take on Bangladesh team as Nepal should be looking forward to wrap up the tournament with a high note? And will that be a battle of spin as well? What is your take on that?
We are balancing our side with seam and spin both. Okay, so we saw so far that spin has played a role here, and my past memories in Caribbean has been very similar. But we have a balanced side, so what the surface offers, what the conditions offers tomorrow, accordingly we will present our challenges. What I'm really looking forward to is our batters showing little more courage and challenge and fight. And I know in the nets I've seen a lot more than what you guys have seen at the center out there. And I really want them to present that tomorrow.
Well, just before the game against Nepal, Shakib Al Hasan scored a beautiful half century in last match. You must have seen his batting, his back in form. So do you have any specific plan on Shakib Al Hasan before tomorrow's game?
T20, now with so much of footage and so much of information available, everyone will have certain plans. I mean, the general thing will be a left-hander, you bring in off-spin, you bowl in a channel, all that stuff is right there. But I think it's the hunger between that individual who's going to bowl and Shakib Al Hasan with wealth of experience. I think 300 plus games if we add up all the formats for him, and somebody who has been a leader for the nation. For us, it is about just contesting there and making sure that we picked up some important wickets yesterday as well against some well-established batters from South Africa. So similar challenges we will bring in. I will not disclose what kind of a plan we will put across Shakib, but I think there are a lot of plans that we think about.
Hi coach, how are you?
Pretty good.
Coach, obviously for Bangladesh it's a must-win game tomorrow. For Nepal, in that sense, nothing to lose. So are Nepal going to look to spoil Bangladesh's party because all the pressure will be on Bangladesh?
We are building our story, so I'm not thinking about spoiling anyone else's party, but the way the message was in our dressing room is that we still want to live in a world of imagination where we want to believe that we crossed the line yesterday. And we want to think that we are on the 3 points, looking forward to Bangladesh and playing to qualify for Super 8. If we can bring that mentality tomorrow and fight till the end, cross the line, at least we'll go back with proud moment of crossing and then probably thinking about ifs and buts of other games. But yes, we want to put up a show.
Coach, congratulations. It was a great match yesterday. I think you already see the wicket. Is there any difference between yesterday's wicket and today's wicket?
No, today's wicket I have not seen, so I have no clue about it. But again, like I said, that T20, 120 balls, right? The game shifts so quickly. It's such a fast game. I think any surfaces out there, you have to adapt and adjust. And that's what I'm expecting. Inexperience, yes, but I would not put inexperience because at associate level, we have played a lot of T20 games. Inexperience in terms of superior skill that we come across. But the actual versus potential, there is a gap, and we want to close that gap by showing it more and more.
Last question. We saw a lot of experts yesterday talk about the fact that in the next 10 years, Nepal would be a real force to reckon with, maybe even earlier. Would you just quickly dwell on the kind of the base and the strength that you have in the domestic cricket over there, and what's the number of players who are there who, of course, a lot more might have been inspired by the performances that you've put across in the tournament. Just some take on the setup back home, and you think that 10 years or maybe even earlier, Nepal would be a real force?
Difficult to again sum up the whole aspect of it, but maybe I will sound like a philosopher right now, but just like life, there are stories which are incomplete. Same way as an assistant coach I've seen with Nepal cricket long back when I was first introduced by Pubudu, the story that they were on. And at that point, Afghanistan and Nepal were neck to neck. In fact, Nepal had beaten Afghanistan in the last World Cup in 2014 when they had represented under Paras Khadka's leadership. And at that point, I felt that, they will also keep climbing up. But somewhere they missed the train and they were 10 years behind. I would not like another 10 years for Nepal cricket. I think we will take the responsibility, of course, as a group together. Look, I've said this before as well. I treat all these cricketers like kids. my daughter is similar age, and I know what dreams they have. When we grew up, we had dreams as well, and that is what we live for, So there are certain goals, short-term goals that we'll have in place, and at the same time, we will constantly communicate with all test nations, all state teams, even back in India, who gave us an opportunity a few months back to play against us, so that the exposure continues. And if that exposure continues, I don't think 10 years will be required. We should be able to script our story properly in the next 4-year cycle.
Thank you very much, and all the very best for the game tomorrow.
Thank you so much.